Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits, the Motorcast. This hero's Dave. I got online a special guest, Tim Boychuk. The Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car. How's it going?
Real good, real good. How about you?
Pretty good. So you guys are traveling around now, doing some getting ready for some. When is it? Tomorrow?
Wednesday night here in Spokane. We just arrived here this afternoon with our motorhome, and the truck will be here tomorrow with the car.
Okay, so the 4th of July is the big Spokane event.
Yep, it is. It's going to be a blast. I guess they got a big fireworks show after we're done, so it's going to be a pretty good evening.
Sounds good. So first question I got for you, Tim, is how did you get involved in drag racing?
That's kind of a funny story. I got together with a friend of mine. We're down in Scottsdale, Arizona in 2005, and it's the fall. And we went to the bar with our wives, and we were having a few cocktails, and he had a Nostalgia Funny car, an alcohol car that was one like a Sipka car. And by the end of the night, I bought the car from him.
Oh, really? What funny car was that?
It was a 74 Vega. It was an old Ayahara chassis. It had a 426-bone Chevy in it, and it was... that's where we started in that. I did that for 2 seasons, and that's when we got into driving the top fuel car for Peyton's, and then over to the Nitro Nostalgia car with Ron Hodson.
So you went straight into funny cars when you started racing? No bracket car racing, nothing like that? No street car racing?
No, but I'd come off the oval track originally. I started back in 93 on the oval track, and in 96 I got into a 360 wing sprint car, and I drove that till 2005, and then I was going to quit racing, and this friend of mine, Cal Tebb, he talked me into trying out a Doug Foley driving school in Edmonton, which we did. And it was okay, but being all by yourself doing 130 miles an hour, we're used to going sideways with 20 cars going sideways. It was a different feeling, and I said, there's got to be better than this. So we got talking about it in the fall when we were in Phoenix and in Scottsdale there, and ended up that I bought his funny car, run 750, and first race out qualified number 1, and second race went to the finals in Edmonton. And third race in Mission, we crashed the car. We had an A-frame break off.
So what was the experience like getting behind the wheel for the first time of a Nitro Funny car?
Yeah, so it was quite the deal.
Can you tell us about how it feel when you got in there?
It was good. It's like not knowing a lot of stuff about it. Just make sure I kept it straight. And a friend of mine, Terry Cap, that drove back with Gordy Bond and all them guys back in the day, and he said that since I was a truck driver, he says you should have no trouble feeling the car, and I think I've done okay with it, and I feel good. I can feel stuff, and so I think it all comes back from my old truck driving experience, and then the sprint car stuff. I think really helped make me feel the car.
So now, what year did you start driving a happy hour funny car?
That was it in 2006 when we started. 6 and 7 were in the happy hour, and then 2006, 2007, 2008, I went into the top fuel car for driving for Peyton's, and it was kind of fun. Our first year, we won our 7th and 8th race in top fuel in IHRA.
Then when did you go back to the happy hour car?
The top fuel car is a little too expensive for us, and so Ron Hodson and I were together, and we got talking, and at that time, we were going to do a Hawaiian car to run against the Bubble Up car and do match racing, and then he ended up selling his car, and we bought together the car I have today. I bought Ron out 4 years ago, but that's how we got into the Nitro Nostalgia car, and when we started it, like I said, it was going to be the Hawaiian car, and then because Roland at that time was tuning for us, and then we went from there, and they changed it into the Troy Lee car, so we were on the Troy Lee car until Ron and I split up, and he kept the Troy Lee stuff going, and we went back to our old happy hour.
It's a beautiful car.
Well, thank you. We sure like it. I've got a 69 Camaro at home in Scottsdale, so it's kind of a neat thing. If you look at the picture of this funny car right now and look at the grill, it's an actual picture of the grill of my 69 Camaro that's in Arizona.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
you look at it, it's got the demister for the air conditioning and all that kind of stuff. Behind you can see the radiator. It's pretty cool.
Now, what size engine you got in there?
Pardon me?
What size engine block you got in that car?
426.
And what size fuel pump?
21 gallon.
The regular Heritage size?
Yeah, we're just still following that stuff. UNFC that started a couple years ago is running all the Heritage rules, so we're keeping everything the same. We would like to possibly take a try over and go with what them other guys are running back east and 34 gallon pumps and that other stuff. So we've talked about it. We just haven't got there yet.
Now you run with the United Nitro funny cars?
Yeah, we run with them. Yeah, we're members.
Man, Boychuk, amazing driver.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, as a matter of fact, Bucky just pulled in here probably about an hour ago.
Yeah, Bobby's been on a hot streak this year so far.
Yeah, it's hard to catch him. He's really got stuff going on. We got to find out what he's doing because it's pretty hard to catch.
Yeah. So now, with this funny car, what's been the quickest ET you had?
Fastest we ever rode was a 561 at 259, I think it was. We just missed that 260 mark.
And what track was that at?
I believe that was in Budds Creek, Maryland.
So now, what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
You know what? They all have their own personalities. We love running every one of them. Like, Spokane's neat because you're in the valley, like in the V, the track is below the stands kind of thing. Edmonton is neat because that's where we get the biggest show through the whole tour. We have the most attendance of people. Mission is neat because it's like they've got a racetrack put in the middle of a national park, so it's got its own personality. So they're all different, and Budds Creek was really cool. West Palm Beach was really cool. I don't really have a favorite. But just like Edmonton's kind of cool because it's our hometown, but other than that, no, we like running all of them.
All right, now when you started driving funny cars, were there any drivers out there that were inspirational to you?
Oh, all of them. I mean, Gordy was quite inspirational to me. 240 Gordy Bond and Terry Cap, of course. You know, they're the hometown guys. So they're kind of the guys that I really looked up to at that time. So from then on, that's about it. Those guys really got me going.
Okay, so when you started driving funny car, was your family involved with your drag racing?
Oh yeah, my wife's been with me all right through everything since the sprint cars. She's supported me, and now here with the team here, she does all the travel arrangements for the crew and hotel rooms, rental cars. Plus, she cooks for the team and does everything. So she's the one that moves the tow vehicle from the starting line off to the side when we go to do the burnout, and she rides with it coming to pick us up at the top end. And by the time she gets to the top end with the crew to pick us up, she's already posted on Facebook on Boychuk Racing all what we've done and what the time was and the speed and everything. So she's really on top of it.
Okay, so now besides your wife as a crew member, who are the other crew members?
Well, we got Twig Ziegler, the legendary Pizza Haven driver from years back. We've got Larry Haymickle, we got Ed Greco, Mike Greco, we got Kim in there and Engsfeld, and we got Doug Bell and Dan Boychukw. So that's our crew, and they try and do what they can with us. And Cal Tebb sometimes comes and helps us out. That's the fellow that got me from the oval track to the drag strip. But that's the main crew that usually come out. We'll usually take four of those guys, whoever's available to make it, and we keep a pretty consistent crew, which makes everything run a lot better.
Okay, now who are your sponsors currently?
We got Miller Home and Keeley. That's our insurance company back in Edmonton. They've been with us since the early 50s, so we've been with them since the early 50s. Got Inline Industries, Maclock Construction, and out of Las Vegas, Nevada is Ted Weens Tire and Auto.
Okay.
That's our major sponsors.
So now, like say for example, this week, before you took the car out of the shop, what does it take to get this car prepared for a drag race?
Well, Twig's had it at his place for the last 2 months since we last raced in Salt Lake. So the car is all ready to go. Just get in and start it up and make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do, and then put it on the track. It's all ready to go.
So what do you do to get your mind prepared for drag racing?
Well, I start pacing. That's my deal. I start pacing around, and I go off and just all I want to do is make sure I don't miss any procedures, so that nobody can yell at me and say I did something wrong. That's the way I look at it.
So what would you consider some of your favorite tracks to run on?
Well, like I said, Edmonton's one of our favorite because it's home. Mission is really cool, and like I say, Spokane here is really neat because it's in this valley. It's really the noise is amazing when the cars go down the track here. So, and then it's got a good long shutdown here, and get off the track, you turn onto the road course and come back around. So it's pretty cool. Cordova, Illinois was pretty cool to run out there. Like I say, Budds Creek, Maryland was pretty neat. Budds Creek, Maryland's got to have the cleanest bathrooms I've ever seen at a racetrack.
So Cordova, what did you come up here for, the World Series?
Yeah, we did that. And no, it was the IHRA deal, not the World Series, the IHRA deal. And that's when we were doing the whole circuit with IHRA. We did the East Coast, or the West, started on the West Coast and worked our way to the East Coast, and then up through Canada, and then all the way back around. It was a real nice tour that they had put on for us guys. So it was pretty cool. We're sad that they're not using our class anymore, and we wish they'd bring us back because we sure had a lot of fun with them.
So have you ever been to Great Lakes Dragway in Wisconsin?
No, sir, I haven't.
Man, that's a IHRA track over there.
Oh, cool. No, if they invited us and they had a race, or a couple, 3 races out there to make it worth our while, we definitely head out that way.
So now, Tim, where do you get all your fire safety stuff from?
All the stuff I get is from Choco Fast Eddie in Canada. It's mostly Simpson product we use. We do use DJ Safety. Big Ben there's been doing the stuff, and it's Tony Payton over at Choco Fast Eddie that does most of our stuff. And he's been doing my stuff back since the sprint car days, so we've had a long affiliation with them, and they look after us really well. And they do give us a little bit of sponsorship through all the stuff, so it helps us out too.
Now, what kind of tires are you running on?
We've been running Goodyears. We've tried the Hoosiers. We've tried Mickey Thompson's. And the Goodyears is what we've had the best success with, so we've been kind of sticking with them for now.
All right. So what would you consider to be some of the milestones of your drag racing career so far?
Well, I think probably one of the best things is when I won my 7th and 8th race in Top Fuel. We won Epping, New Hampshire, and then the next race after was Rockingham. We won that, and that was the last race of the season for IHRA, so that was pretty cool to do that. The other one that really, really is dear to my heart is the very first race in this race car was in Mission in 2009, and we won that race. So the first race ever in this car that it went down the track in a race, we won it. So I think that's pretty cool.
Now, have you ever ran at Bakersfield?
Yeah, we won the March meet in 2013, so we've done good out there. We had won 2012 and got disqualified. There's something wrong with their fuel pump, and I still don't really agree with what happened. But anyways, it did happen, and but we went back the next year and won it. We think a second time, but obviously we got disqualified in 2012, but we won it in 13, and so that was pretty neat, and that was big feat to all them cars there,
Yeah, all those California Nitro drivers, there's so many of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, did you go to March meet this year?
To which?
The March meet, did you make it this year?
Yes, we did. We went there. I forget where we qualified, but it was a tough field out there. We lost first round to Hodson, I guess, so it's the 2 Canadian cars have to meet in Bakersfield to run each other.
Okay, now, throughout your drag racing career, have you had any accidents or close accidents at all?
I just had that one in Mission in 2006 when I was driving the alcohol car, and the car did a wheelie, came down, broke the A-frame, crossed the lane into the right lane, and then back across the track and into the wall. And the car at that time was all painted, so it was a pretty cool paint job, and to see it get all smashed all to heck is pretty tough. And it's kind of funny because people come up and they say, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I said, "Man, I used to drive sprint cars. I was waiting for this thing to go dirt sky, dirt sky, dirt sky, but it stayed on its wheel, so it wasn't as violent as stuff I've done in sprint cars."
Wow. So I'm going to ask you a few fun questions here before we finish this interview. You ready for a few fun questions here, Tim?
Sure.
If someone were to give you $200 million and ask you to build a brand new drag race track, where would you think about building a new track at, and what kind of features would you want to put into this track?
Well, I'd build a track someplace around Edmonton. I'd love it there, and we'd have of course a drag strip, and I'd probably do a paved oval and probably a motocross track. I think that'd be a lot of fun on a road course. That would be probably where I'd go.
All right, now, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
Not really. We've got 5 kids and the 5th grandchild on the way, so that takes up a lot of our time. So when we're on the road racing, we're gone for quite a bit of time. So whenever we get back, we hang out with family quite a bit, and I got a couple old trucks that I play with. I'm in the trucking business back in Canada, and I got some old trucks that I like to play with and cruise around and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. But that's about it for my extracurricular after racing.
So any future drag racers out of the 5 kids you got?
Probably my daughter, the youngest daughter. She's a lead foot. My boys, one drove sprint car, one did a junior dragster, and the one with the sprint car, that's kind of cool. I got to race with my son back in sprint car days, and he's now got family and doing his own thing. And the younger son, he's just not a car guy. And then, but our daughter is, but she's the one that's pregnant with the 5th grandchild, so she won't be driving for a while.
Yeah, well, maybe some of them grandkids will become drag racers too.
Yeah, that's a good possibility. The daughter's going to have a son, so my daughter's married to Cameron Ferre, who I raced against when he drove Twig Ziegler's car about 5 years ago. And he's got his top fuel license now, so he's a drag racer, and he races a Super Comp dragster, and he's also been driving for Johnny Otten in an A fuel car. So he's got some experience there too. So he could always, I know he drove my car last year in Boise. It's a long story, but I let him drive it for one race, and he did an awesome job in it. So that's always a possibility there too. So who knows what's going to happen in the future.
So now with the United Nitro Funny Cars, do you have a greatest competitor in that group?
Right now it's Bobby. He's the toughest one out there, but all the guys are pretty good, and they're all lots of fun to race with. Everybody gets along really well. You know, races are over, and it's not too hard to share some suds with somebody.
Now, in your career, have you won any trophies or wallies or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I've got I don't know, probably about 6 or 8 wallies, and I think about 15 Ironmen. So we've got some trophies, some hardware there to show off.
So, Tim, if you were able to do time traveling, go back in time, would you do anything different with your drag racing career?
Nope. I just love the way everything's gone. I think it's gone terrific. I have a great life, a great family, great friends. I don't know. I wouldn't change anything. I love everything the way it is. I'm having so much fun as it is right now. I don't know how to make it any more fun. Maybe winning more races.
All right. Now, if you and the family have time to go on vacation, what's your favorite vacation spot to go to?
Well, we have a house in Scottsdale, Arizona for the last 11 years, so we go down there, and we've got enough room that all the kids can come down and hang out, and there's room for everybody to stay. We try and do some snowbird Christmases down there and get everybody come out, and it happens that quite a few of them come down. So usually, if we're out wintering in Scottsdale and Christmasing there, we'll usually have a couple to 3 of the kids come down with their families. So it's pretty cool down there. The other thing is we like to do the destination Mexico vacations too when we can. So, but mostly right now we're just hanging out in Scottsdale. It's pretty cool right there.
Okay, now what's your favorite food to eat?
My favorite food to eat would have to be cheeseburger, hamburger helper.
Now, what's your favorite food that your wife makes?
She'll make me some fried pork chops with mushroom gravy.
Yeah,
Mashed potatoes.
that sounds good. Now,
Like that good old down-home stuff.
what would you consider your favorite beverage?
Definitely been known to have the odd bottle of red wine.
How about non-alcoholic?
Just water. Nothing fancy there.
Now, Tim, do you watch movies at all?
Yes, we do. We like to watch comedies and horror movies like Hannibal Lecter, that kind of stuff, and Pulp Fiction. Or the comedies like Rustler's Rhapsody and My Cousin Vinny, those kind of shows. That's the stuff we like. We get into that pretty good.
So what would you consider to be your favorite movie of all time?
Probably Rustler's Rhapsody. I must have watched it 100 times already. I watch it and I still laugh as hard now as I did the first time I ever watched it. I just see more stuff in it nowadays. But it's a real sleeper of a comedy, and most people have never heard of it. And it's got some big names in it. It's got Tom Berenger, Mary Lou Henner, Cecil Ward, and Andy Griffith as the gay cattle baron. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, you're talking to someone who never heard that movie before. What year did it come out?
83.
Yeah. Okay. So
probably before you were born.
Nah, I'm 50 years old. I was born in '68.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was born in '62.
Yeah, you got some years on me.
But that's a good show if you've never seen it.
Okay, now, what's your favorite music to listen to?
Which is that?
What's your favorite music you like to listen to?
Oh, Pink Floyd, Doobie Brothers, and the Eagles. That's my stuff right there.
A lot of classic.
We just saw the Eagles again in Edmonton here a couple months ago when they're on tour. They're awesome.
A lot of classic rock.
Yeah, that's the stuff I like back in the '70s and '80s.
You like Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, and all that stuff?
Not too much of that heavy stuff, but more like they say the Floyd, the Eagles, Doobie Brothers,
Rolling Stones.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, yep.
They're the greatest rock and roll band of all time. I don't know how they're still kicking. They look pretty bad looking these days, but they're still going.
Yeah, for sure.
Now when you're at the track, do you eat regularly or you eat very little?
I eat very little. I try to eat a couple hours before we race, otherwise I start burping in my helmet and it gets pretty yucky. So I try to do everything ahead of time, and then I won't eat again until we're done racing for the day.
So if you weren't drag racing, what do you think you'd be doing with your life?
Probably doing more traveling. We like to travel, my wife and I, and we left Edmonton on Sunday, and we drove to Junction City, Kansas, and picked up our new fifth wheel, and so we left Kansas on Friday afternoon, and we're here in Spokane today, so we just cruising around.
Okay, now, throughout your whole drag racing career, do you have a most embarrassing moment you could talk about?
Probably when I hit the wall in Mission and smashed the first happy hour car up. When I came to a stop, it was right about the 1,000-foot mark, and I looked to the left, and there's my wife and all our friends, and they're standing. They watched our first pass from the starting line, and they brought all the friends to watch us go through the top end. When they came to stop, I looked to my left, and I seen everybody standing there. It felt like Wile E. Coyote from the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner. You kind of wave at them, like, oh, shucks, or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was pretty embarrassing, that one.
So now, what would you consider to be the most fondest memory of your whole drag racing career, Tim?
Definitely be the winning Mission. That was, to go out your first race in that car ever. We had tested it in Edmonton a month before and made 3 passes with it and went straight into a race in Mission. And we had Twig Ziegler first round, we had Bucky second round, and Garrett Bateman third round. And And to win over those guys, that was pretty spectacular. So it's pretty deep in my heart.
Now, how important would you say it is for the kids to come out and watch drag racing?
Oh, they come out all they can. They've come. The kids have come and watched us in Tucson. They've watched us in Phoenix. They've watched us in Edmonton. They've watched us in Mission. So if they can, they'll work their holidays around when we're racing. So it's pretty cool to have them there. Our oldest granddaughter Tegan is 11, and she's been coming to racetrack since she was about 9 months old.
Well, I actually wasn't talking about your kids. I was saying, how important do you think it is for the families to bring kids out to watch drag racing?
I'm sorry I didn't catch your question right, but yeah, I think it's very important. That's why I wish a lot more of these people at the racetracks would do more with the junior dragsters, because them young kids are what's going to bring the sport up, and there's not enough of them out there right now. So drag racing, if it's going to survive, they're going to need some more young people out there. So they got to do something to promote it.
Yeah, and the times are so different now than when we were young. We didn't have the video games and cell phones.
Exactly, you're correct there.
We'd be playing outside all the time till supper time. Now the kids are glued. Now the kids are glued to the video games or their phones.
Yeah, no, you got that right. It's a sad state, but what are you going to do to change it?
But like you said, a junior dragster, there's a lot of junior dragsters out there now, which is good.
Yeah, no, for sure. They're good stuff. I say our youngest son had one, and he did a good job driving it. He only run about 4 races, but he just wasn't as interested. He'd rather wrench on it than drive it. So,
like Michael Hoss did it from California. His driver, his daughter Michaela, she's doing pretty good with the junior dragsters.
Yeah, I see Mike every once in a while. And I see Michaela, and yeah, she's doing real well. That's really cool to watch. They did really well in Bakersfield at the March meet.
Yeah, I actually had her on my show. She did an interview with me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
That was my first junior dragster driver. Hopefully I'll get some more on.
Right on.
Now,
that's cool.
Yeah. Now, if people that are listening and want to find out your schedule, where can they find it? What's the best way to look for your schedule?
On Boychuk Racing on Facebook. Donna's got it updated there all the time. And we got Wednesday here in Spokane, the following weekend in Seattle, following weekend Edmonton, the following weekend Mission, the following weekend Seattle again. Then we got a week off. Then we've got Boise, and then we've got Spokane again, and then we're done until the Hot Rod Reunion.
Well, sounds good, Tim. I want to thank you very much for your time, Mom. Do you have any final words you want to say to anyone out there?
Just everybody come on out to the races. If you're here, come out to us and come and say hello.
I know Joe Walla's out there.
Yeah.
You know Joe, right?
Yeah, Joe Walla, yeah. He got his sticker on the front of the car, the Kings.
Yeah, he's out there for that event.
Yep.
So, anyway, thanks again, Tim.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for everything, and you take care, and see what we can do for the July 4th race here.
We'll get you on there again in the future.
Sounds good, man.
And good luck tomorrow. Wednesday.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you have a good night, Tim.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.